in any given month. Most of us don't even have one in a year, but we will review up to 15 contracts or documents in a given month. A good example, I do a lot of videos for YouTube. I sent my situation over to my law firm here in Illinois. That law firm then referred me over to the Canadian law firms because that's what the company was out of, and told me, don't do it, Jeff. They went over everything with me, and it turned out I would have been in a really bad deal. They wrote it to work for them. They did not write it to work for me. And by the time we were done, we could not come to agreement because everything they were writing was in their favor. Okay? Every time that I have a letter, I got to get, like I said, I'm a single father. So if I do something with my daughter's mother, I make sure to have a letter sent from my law firm, and that's taken care of, instead of paying $75 per letter. Okay? I had a situation to where I had to contact the state of Illinois. Turns out, it just turned out to be a glitch, but the lawyers handled it for me. My phone, I have a Sprint phone, and guess what? I was being charged full price for the phone. Sprint, the lady from Illinois, called up. She said, hey, get me in touch with, got right to their legal department. She fixed the matter within 15 minutes, which took me 3 months. Okay? Next thing is, how many of you are scared of always being audited by the IRS? Get that little red thing in the mail. We're going to give you 50 hours of IRS audit services. Now, we do not sue people, but I don't want you to get misconceived on this. I don't want you to think wrong. What we do is we give you 60 hours of civil trial defense. That's trial and pre-trial time. Now, what does that mean? If you are named in a lawsuit, somebody sues you, from day one, we are going to give you 60 hours of civil trial defense time. That's 60 hours that you normally have to go into a law firm and pay for. We're going to give you 60 hours. Then we're going to basically, it's going to roll over to the next year. And up for 5 years, we're going to give you 300 hours. Every year on your anniversary date, we're going to give you 60 hours of civil trial defense time. This puts a complete shield around you where you feel bulletproof. Why? Because let's put it this way. People use the legal system nowadays like people play the lottery. They're sitting there and they're going to go sue you because they think they're going to get millions from you. I can't tell you how many truck drivers I deal with, and everybody thinks that truck drivers has all kinds of money in the world. I can't tell you how many businesses people sue the small guy, down the block that everything is loaded when they're scrambling to pay their bills every month, but they're going to go ahead and sue him anyway. Or the person next door that's got the dog. It says, beware of dog. Well, guess what? That means you were aware of that dog and you went in their yard, you got bit. All of a sudden, you go in, there's no sign, you get bit by the dog. Well, now they weren't aware, so now they get, and no matter what, they can sue you for anything. It's nice to know that with civil trial defense time, if you got in that automobile accident that was no fault of your own, okay, and they turn around and sue you, our law firms are going to represent you. Okay, for any family or domesticated services, okay, our family case fits under our family plan. All this stuff is under one plan. All right, 90 days after you've been a member of us. Remember, we have no contracts, termination fees, no copays, no deductibles, anything like that. So if you've been with us for 90 days, we're going to do uncontested name change, uncontested adoption, uncontested divorce, uncontested separation. Uncontested means that you can both get along for long enough to see through the divorce and go your separate ways. Let's face it, when there's a divorce going on, they lawyer up, you lawyer up, okay? And in the end, that lawyer you got is now putting their kids through private college, private high schools, and driving a nice car off the money that should have went to your kids or to your future or to your retirement. Would I not be wrong on that? Because like I said, people will sell their arms and their legs and their cars and their houses to get a divorce. What if you could just get it done? Get along for 90 days. We'll get all the paperwork done for you. You pay the court fees, meaning whatever it is in court. That's not lawyer fees. About $120 here in Illinois. And your divorce is done. It's finalized. All right. Next thing. We have an option on our phone called Snap. On your phone, if you get a ticket, okay, if you get a ticket on your phone, or not on your phone, if you get a ticket, like you're driving down the road, okay, and you get a speeding ticket, or you get any type of ticket, and the officer writes you the ticket and everything else, don't panic. The reason why is there's a button on our phone called Snap. You take a picture of the front, you take a picture of the back, you put the court date in, and then you push send. What does that do? Once you send that ticket to the providing law firm, they are then going to call you within 6 to 8 business hours. Usually it'll be the next day if it's late at night. But no matter what, they're going to call you back right away. If it's during the day, they could call you back within 20 minutes. I don't think I've ever waited on normal business hours waiting longer than 20 minutes. But here's just it. They're going to call you back. They're going to go over the ticket with you. They're going to tell you everything you can and cannot do. I'm speaking from experience. Yes, I've driven through Hannibal, Missouri many times. And what they do is they go over everything. Now, luckily for me, I have this service. And if you ask my insurance company, I'm a perfect driver. Does that mean that I am? No, it just means the provided law firm that I have, Evans, Lowenstein, Szymanowski, and Marskardini out of Chicago, or DeBeo Judge out of Missouri, okay, they went to bat for me. And by the time they were done, they got it moved to a non-moving violation and kept it off my insurance. In some cases, they got them completely dismissed altogether. Okay, now we do tickets and member info submitted to your law firm, consultation within 8 hours. All right, next thing. Next thing is one I want to spend just a few seconds with. It is your will, your healthcare power of attorney, and your living will. Can everybody see this? This is a will. I had a person on my team go over this today, and the reason why is a lot of us do not get our wills done, okay? Right on your phone. You have the will right on your phone. You also have, where you push it, you can do the will right on your phone. You can copy a PDF. You can do it on your computer. Or look, you can go right into here. And by the way, remember I said you can call up the attorneys over anything? There's numbers and stuff on the side. You get this directly from me, and you just fill out your will, your healthcare power of attorney, and your living will and trust for minors. Now, why is a will important? Most people do not know this, but they live in a probate state. Probate means if something happens to you, you die or something else, everything goes in the probate. That means your husband, your wife, your kids, your mom, your dad, whoever is not in charge of you unless you have a will. Now, when my dad got his will done, I think he paid around $1,400 with our family lawyer. This was years ago. This was after my mom died of cancer. I now do the exact same things for less than $5 a week. Now, how important is a will to you? Well, if you don't want your kids going with one of your relatives that you don't really like, you don't have a say in the matter. If you get an accident and there's money left behind in a big court battle, you don't have a say where that money goes unless you have a will. Now, the Sherry Shiverling thing happened down in Florida. Mom and dad wanted to keep her on feeding tubes. Husband wanted to get her off feeding tubes. Now, either case, they both loved their daughter. But here's the fact of the matter. She did not have a will. So neither one was the proprietor of the estate, which means she was kept on that feeding tube no matter what the husband wanted, no matter what the mom and dad wanted, because she did not put her wishes down in a will. Now, they both loved her with their entire heart, and they both thought they were right. The fact is, you need to have a will so that in that will and that healthcare power of attorney, you can specify what you want done and how you want it. You're right, these are hard to do, but they have to be done. You can't procrastinate, because if you do, you're leaving the worry for your family. And a lot of families, they don't want or need that worry or that expense. The lawyers will prepare your will, your living will, and healthcare power of attorney. All right. Just at the push of a button, you start your will. There's a will questionnaire that'll come up, and then you start it. Now, the next thing, this one's pretty neat. This is called member perks. A lot of people don't know. As members of Legal Shield, you can save, on average, about $49 a month, or between $2,000 and $2,600 a year on what we have as member perks. It doesn't matter if you have a small plan or you have a large plan. It doesn't matter. What it is I actually save more having a Legal Shield plan because I save about $50 a month, everywhere from taking my daughter to the movies, to Amazon.com, to hotels, to shoes, to clothing, to my local grocery stores where I get discounts and stuff, okay? And I can save about $50 a month. Yet I'm only paying less than $5 a week for my plan, but I'm saving over $50 a month. Now, how many of you can go into a business and take your card or take your phone and say, here, I want a discount, all because you're getting the thing you need anyway? Next thing, this one's very important. This is crucial. For all emergency situations, we have an app on our phone, a red button. You push that emergency situation. Jeff Bell comes on, he's our CEO, and he basically says, if this is emergency, push 1, and it takes you right into a lawyer, period. You get a lawyer on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365, speaks English, is coherent, ready to go at a moment's notice. Okay? If your family friend is your lawyer, more than likely they're sitting next to you at the bar getting drunk. Or they're in bed sleeping and they got their phone turned off because they got a hard day tomorrow. But with Legal Shield, 2 lawyers, every one of our law firms takes a cell phone home with them, speaks in English, is coherent, ready to go at a moment's notice. All right? Now, why is that important to you? If all of a sudden you got people coming to your house to grab your kids, the police officers are only doing their job, okay? That is all they're doing. They're doing their job. However, we have child services also on option 3, okay?